Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm John Gray.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
It's good to be here today.
How you doing? How's everybody doing?
How does that remind me of? How you doing? Who
How you
says
doing?
that?
I like Peggy's comment about how's your mama and them.
Yeah, mom and them.
Mom and them.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Them.
Jargon of the Southern dialect.
Right.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is.
And I think they teach it in this Tullahoma school system now
Right.
that if you're going to go do something, I'm fixing to do this, right?
Maybe Dan Lawson can fix
fixing,
that.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm fitting to do it.
Yeah, fixing to do it.
There's
You know, I'm going to start this show. I want to dedicate this show to someone.
do it.
I want to dedicate this show to a dear, dear lady. Talking about Southern. You know, Southern to me brings about the image of genteel women and women who are proper and who are kind.
You're obviously not talking about me.
And you know.
He could
that
be.
That generation's just about to move out of our existence.
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
And one of those ladies, Miss Blanche McClure, who is a dear, dear lady, is today will be leaving Tullahoma.
I know that'd be a great loss to Tullahoma.
And going, she was
She's a neat
her
lady.
husband, Creed McClure, was a coach here, a principal at Tullahoma High School for years. She taught for 31 years. And was Miss MTSU. Well, it wasn't Miss MTSU. We call her Miss Blue Raider, but she was the queen up there, and
She was there,
and is
yeah.
a lovely, lovely lady, and will be missed by a whole lot of
lady.
folks, particularly me.
Yeah, and I will too, because you know, and when you're going to school, you have this. A lot of times, you probably have these thoughts about, why do I have to learn this? I'm never going to use this.
It's true.
Well, I took typing under Miss McClure, and you know, and I kept thinking, well, I'm never going to use this for anything.
And sure enough.
But who knew the computer world was
Exactly.
coming down? You know.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I'd have paid a little bit more attention if I'd have realized that.
Yeah, wouldn't we all? If we had any idea we was ever going to need to know this, we would.
That's true.
But she's moving over to Carolina with her daughter Beth and
Good.
her husband Alva Clay, and they're packing her up, moving her over there. And
I imagine it's a
well, it's time.
bittersweet time.
Oh, it is, but Blanche's friends. I mean, she spent the majority of her life right here in Tullahoma, and
Yeah, no way.
And,
And she taught for
Everybody will miss her.
31 years.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, and just a beautiful, beautiful lady, and revered and loved, and she probably reminds me as much of my mother as anyone I know, in the way she acts and
She
the
certainly
things
was a
she
genteel
does.
lady.
And,
Is a genteel
yes,
lady.
and is a wonderful woman, and a strong woman, and a woman who is, although her husband cut a wide swath, you know, she held her own and is respected for her own works.
Absolutely.
And we love you, Blanche, and I'm gonna dedicate this show just to you.
And her husband, by the way, in case you don't know, was Creed McClure, who was the coach and principal at West Middle School.
West, and then at the high school. He was principal when I was at the high school. Good man.
I have fond memories of him. He gave me some licks one time.
Well, yeah, he gave all of us licks.
I'm sure you deserved some. I had a
I'm
few
sure I
licks.
did. I'm sure I did.
I remember those days.
It was funny. We had a little reception for Blanche last weekend, and in that we looked through a bunch of the old annuals and stuff, and made copies of pictures and put them on a board and all that. And, you know, you see those pictures of Big Tom Garrison and Creed and Milner Carden when he was young with a flat top and dark hair, and all those folks that were around there and are still around. A lot of them are still around.
Like, yeah.
Max
Some of us
Weaver,
that aren't dead yet.
Max
John.
Weaver, who directed the band, well, I think last year got on the field with the band and directed, and he still had his old
Isn't that great? Yeah.
clothes that he wore back in those days, and you know, those years are wonderful years, and the folks, you know, who, God bless the teachers and all the work that they do, because it's tough. keeping up with a bunch of knot-headed kids, particularly high school kids who
Yeah.
have developed their own attitude that think they know everything in the world, and you know, to have
You're making kids look bad. We
Well,
have a lot
they
of
were- they
really
were-
nice
well,
kids in
yeah.
our school.
They're
Well,
nice kids,
John remembers how we
Yeah,
were. He's not referring
his
to.
school.
they're
Yeah.
nice kids, but
Yeah.
17, 18-year-old kids that's when they're first getting their own thought processes going, and they want to do what they want to do. And you know, some of these teachers, specific ones, everybody has a teacher or two that help direct them down a path that help form their life.
They sure
I
do,
think we all
and you know,
do, yeah.
and it's kind of like your parents. The older you get, you used to think, well, the advice they were giving you, they were stupid. But you know, then you get a little bit older, you think, you know, that was pretty good.
That was nice. I'm glad I got that advice.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Bob Curley, who was taught geometry, gave me some advice about life and getting married and, you know, doing things like that one time. And I thought, well, that's insane. Turns out he was right.
He was right,
Turns out,
wasn't he?
I think the
turns
first
out he was
teacher
right.
that got a handle on me was Burl Crowell, and I don't know if you
I
remember.
know Burl.
He
Burl was an official.
He was an official, and I was in elementary school at Beech Grove, where you know there was 4 or 5 different grades in one room, and I had not a lot of direction, and I learned great things from him.
You know, I was speaking to Bob Curley. Bob Curley is Lane Curley, our mayor's dad. And when I was in high school, I was taking geometry, and I thought, well, this is insane. What do you need this for? I swear, later in life, I mean, you know, when I'm in my 40s, we had a business that sold office furniture and stuff like that. And I'm bidding this job, and I need to figure out how this is going to fit over here. And then I needed.
The light bulb came on.
Yeah, and I thought they taught me that at one point, you know, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember it because I wasn't paying any attention. So I actually called Bob up. This is 25 years after I got out of
And you thanked him finally?
I called Bob. No, I called him up and said, Bob, how do I do this?
You didn't teach me nothing.
How do I figure this?
And he still was the teacher, wasn't he?
He absolutely told me how to figure it.
Sure.
Yes,
Of
he
course he
knew.
did,
He
yeah.
knew.
You know, now,
But-
Mr. Curley's class for me had a sooner and more direct input on my life, because once I took geometry, I was probably a 300% better pool shooter
Yeah,
than
right.
I was prior to that, which in some instances turned into income.
Exactly.
Because you know that back in those days, and I'm sure today, there's people bet a little bit on pool games
I
and
would
geometry. The understanding of those angles just opens up a whole new light involving the
Right.
game of pool.
Exactly.
Being a teacher is a special quality. I think we're very
Oh, it is.
blessed in this town that we have some wonderful teachers, and we're putting out some great students, and let's don't forget that.
John-
And facilities, you know, we have some good facilities, and the city and the people here have backed the school system throughout the years, and in making sure that our young people get the proper education
It means a lot.
and have the proper facilities. And the perfect example is East Lincoln School that was completed last year, and you go over there in that building and you
beautiful.
look, it's
really is
not just
beautiful.
beautiful, but it's put together with a thought of it's friendly feeling.
Have you been in
it's
there?
It's you know it's
In
where
where?
these
In
students
the new East Lincoln.
No. Yes, I have.
where
Yes,
these
I have.
students can thrive and function and
It's
not
open
it's
and
not
light.
an institution.
There's a lot of light that comes in.
Yeah.
I love that.
Not an institution. And you know, we have a fellow here that's going to be on the show today, Dan Lawson, who has had a great deal to do with.
Does he
all
know
of
anything
that.
about the education system?
Maybe.
Dan? I think Dan's probably going to have some surprising things to talk about today. And you know, this school system is one of the top 5 school systems in the state
know, and that's
at
awesome.
every level. And it's not because nobody's working hard. It's because people are doing their jobs, and we've been fortunate enough to have people like Dr. Lawson. Do you realize in the past 30 years we've only had 2 superintendents?
That's unbelievable.
And the average school system changes superintendents every 2.5 years.
In the last 30 years?
Don Emery and Dan Lawson, they've both been here about 15 years. They were both served about 15 years.
That's true, and both good men.
And yeah, and the majority of the school system, the average time stay for a superintendent is 2.5 years.
That's unbelievable.
This is off that subject, but I wanted to mention that Lisa Kruger, beautiful young woman, died of cancer last night.
Yes, she did.
And would like to send my respect to her family. It's a tragic loss.
And Bradley Gore. Bradley Gore had an
yeah.
aneurysm last week, 32 years old.
32 years old, unbelievable.
So, folks, you never know. You know, enjoy every minute of every day, every breath you take, every move you make. I'll be watching you because somebody will be, and I hope we'll all be there next time they look up.
I do too. I think we have some good things going on our show today.
We do. We have some great stuff
some
going on.
people from the Manchester Arts Center to talk about Les Mis, and I'm not sure what else we have.
Oh, Charlie Allen's going to be here and talk a little bit about the American farmer, and
Thank you. We
have a gentleman here who, up until a couple of years ago, was a critic, a play critic for the city of Murfreesboro, and wrote for the Murfreesboro newspaper,
and he's coming on our show?
critiqued all of the high school, college, and community playhouse plays in Murfreesboro. And
that's good. Do we have anybody that does that here?
No,
and
no,
we should.
not since Greg Alton moved away.
Maybe he'll start doing. I miss Greg.
I miss Greg
You know what?
as well.
He may come back and do the country show
I hope
for
he
us.
does.
I think
And
he's got a
speaking of
blues
that,
song
when
in
is
his
that?
head.
When is that?
That's August 10, 11, and 12, and we have a great group on that show.
Always have a good
All
time.
shows are different. Remember, get tickets for each night. You're gonna
Friday,
see something
Saturday, and
new.
Sunday.
Yeah, 10, 11, and 12.
Good times.
455-5321. Good times
You
in
got it.
Tullahoma.
Good times in Tullahoma. Good times at South Jackson. And what we're going to do right now is have a good time for some of our sponsors and allow them to help you make a decision on some wise buying right here in Tullahoma.
I went to several colleges, but when I stepped into this gym, it just felt like home.
Just learning the different techniques and the way Mr. Bryan tells us how to study the subject. Art, that's where it's really at for me.
I decided to go to nursing because I've always wanted to help people. You make those connections that you probably never forget. This is my motto, my future.
I'm Marley Matlin for the American Red Cross. In an emergency, infants and children can't always tell you what's wrong. Being able to read critical signs and knowing how to respond can make all the difference. The Red Cross offers infant and child CPR training, where you can learn how to recognize and respond to respiratory and cardiac emergencies. Visit www.redcross.org or call 1-800-HELP-NOW. Together, we can save a life.
Waiting around for things other people get right away just doesn't make much sense. Get high-speed charter internet and enjoy downloads way faster than DSL.
Around here, your word is your bond. But Washington politicians like Diane Black don't follow this rule.
I'm running for Congress to stop Washington from barring away her future.
But Diane Black voted for Obama's $2.1 trillion debt increase and the failed super committee.
Congress is spending us into bankruptcy.
And Diane Black voted against the $2.5 trillion budget cut. Stop Double Talk Diane Black on August 2nd.
Congressional Elections PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to have joining us on the set today somebody that you will probably know, and he was kind of our second choice because we really wanted Chandler Lawson, who's now Miss Tennessee, but we couldn't get Chandler today, so we settled for her dad, and we've got Dr. Dan Lawson here. And before we even start, you got to be proud of Chandler.
Oh, absolutely. Chandler has had just an absolute whirlwind in the last month. It's been a great honor for her, and she has discovered it's been a lot of hard work. I'm not Miss Tennessee's dad. I'm Miss Tennessee's fetcher and gopher person. So more like a valet than anything else.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're awful proud of her. Chandler, of course, if you folks don't remember, was one of our news anchors here when she was in high school there. So the school's about ready to start, Dan.
We're kicking off. We started yesterday with our new teachers. We've got a crop of, I think, 14 new employees. Some are products of Tullahoma City Schools, and we've got one who came to us from Australia, one who has a teaching experience in China. So we've been able to add to our group of teachers with some great local talent and some talent that's been had success worldwide. We're really excited about that.
Now, you know, a lot of people think teachers have the best job in the world because they're off in the summertime. That's changed a little bit with the year-round school system. But administrators like yourself and your staff, it's just business as usual every day, isn't it?
Just another day at the mill, Jimmy. We have an awful lot of our employees are 12-month employees. Of course, in my business, we've got the educational side of it as well as the business side. From the business perspective, our fiscal year ends in June and begins again in July. So in the summer, we're responsible to close one fiscal year, open another fiscal year, and incidentally hire the staff people to make school start once school starts in the fall. So it's a terribly busy time for us, but a productive time.
I would imagine that, considering the size of our system and the physical aspect of it, buildings and stuff like that, it's got to be challenging to you as the administrator of the city schools to be able to figure out all these numbers and how that's going to work.
Well, and the priorities, we're like everybody else. We're like every business in town. We have a limited amount of assets with which we deal, and about 800,000 square foot under roof of building. So we've always got capital projects that are underway, we've always got improvements that are underway, and we've always got to establish priorities both in the business side of our school system as well as the academic side of our school system. It takes a lot of juggling.
What is the size of the city school budget?
Our budget right now is about $31 million. Most of that money, about half of that money, comes from the state of Tennessee. The next resource is local money, which is county as well as city, and then finally we get about 10% of our budget comes from the federal government.
What are some of the capital projects that you guys are dealing with right now? I know you have a roof issue at the high school.
Right. We've got a couple that we have completed this summer and a couple more that we hope to get finished very quickly. We did a paving project at Bel Air Elementary School. The paving there had not been treated, had not been changed in about 25-30 years, so we had to upgrade our paving there. We replaced some rooftop units on the HVAC at Farrah Elementary, and once again that building was constructed in the 70s, and we had just cycled out of the utility of our HVAC system there. And then finally we've got a little bit of touch-up paving to do at East Lincoln as we made some changes to our access and egress after school opened. We have some areas that were left undone with the paving, so we're doing that right now. For the most part, our maintenance staff has also been engaged in making sure that when kids roll in next week, the HVAC is running, everything is going well, and we have the best possible environment for our kids as they enjoy school next week.
The East Lincoln School is kind of the state of the art. It was the most recent one built. I think it has a geothermal heating and air conditioning system in it. How does that work? How's that working?
You know, I'm glad you asked. As we looked at comparing our utility bills of East Lincoln and West Middle School, they're roughly the same size, roughly 83,000 square feet. But we noticed probably 25 to 30% reduction in our electric consumption.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. It was a big deal, especially as we looked at the cooling season. A great investment for us, and we think that given the investment that we've made, we think it'll probably pay for the increased cost over about 5 to 6 years. And then in the last 25 years of utility of that, we're actually saving money, and we're going to be in a pretty good stead for that.
I'm not asking you to pick favorites in the school system, because I know it's all your responsibility, but I know that I would think East Lincoln School, I'm seeing a lot of people trying to raise money for school supplies and stuff like that to help them. Probably East Lincoln is more challenged than others. Are they not?
Well, East Lincoln, when I look simply at the socioeconomics of that community, 9 out of 10 kids at East Lincoln are on free and reduced lunch. That's not a problem with kids, that's not a problem with intellect, that's not a problem with parents, that's just an economic factor that we deal with. 9 out of 10 don't have sufficient resources, so they're on a free and reduced lunch program. Now, the dynamic difference that we've seen in the last 15 years really hasn't been at East Lincoln. It has instead been at some places like Robert E. Lee.
Really?
Where 15 years ago, I might have had 1 out of 10 on free and reduced lunch. Today, that's closer to 3 out of 10.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's a reflection of the economy in general?
I think it's a reflection of the economy in general. It's a reflection of the fact that a lot of jobs that were here 15 years ago have moved offshore, moved to different places. And the replacement of those jobs, while we have folks just busting their tail to find job replacement, it's been a challenge for our community and many other small communities. The great thing we have is we have an education system, we have a medical system, we have a community that's concerned about growth and concerned about doing good things to recruit jobs. So I think we'll see a turn, and I think we'll see some things that perhaps other communities don't see and enjoy.
I know you were featured in an article in the Tullahoma News, I think this past Sunday, about some really innovative things you're doing. Were you doing away with books in the school system?
Well, one of the things, certainly today, if I go home and decide to work on one of my vehicles, and I hope I don't get in that much trouble because I'm not mechanically inclined, but if I do so, the first place I start to look for a user's manual is on the internet. Much the same thing happens in the school place. So we think it's terribly naive to stick to paper and books when we could in fact look at digital delivery of content. So we think it's terribly important to start migrating to digital content and having that content on computers and having those computers available to every child in our school system. We have spent a lot of time with our board talking about that. That's become one of their priorities. Invited Mayor Curley, and he was very excited about that prospect. And we're taking this to City Hall on the 13th of August. Certainly that suggests to our community that we want to be on the cutting edge. But just as importantly, it suggests to a lot of folks that who are thinking about coming here to identify places where there are skilled workers, where folks are concerned about education, tells them that this is a spot they need to be looking at. So we think this could be a real integral piece of business development and business recruitment in our community.
Okay, and I would guess, I'm about out of time, but I would guess that every child is going to be given, provided some device.
Yeah, what we're looking at right now is putting a laptop or a tablet in the hand of every kid, and in that, our only real question is, where do we start? How low do we go? We're still battling and dialoguing as to how low we start the implementation, but we think it's something that's important, and we think it's a dynamic that will serve our kids and our community very well.
Okay. One last question. Do you think, a lot of times it's society's reluctant to fund education to the extent that it needs to be funded. Do you think it's cheaper to educate the children than it is to put them in jail when they grow up?
Obviously, it's much cheaper to educate than incarcerate. But I'd love to thank our community for funding at the level that we're funded. We are blessed, and while it seems that this is somewhat adversarial at times, it's not. Right. It's just lobbying for something that we are committed to and know is important.
Exactly. Dan, thank you so much.
Always enjoy, sir.
All right. Top 5 schools, one of the top 5 school systems in the state of Tennessee. All right. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, right after these messages.
Times have changed since Traders Bank first opened our doors in 1889. Back then, online banking meant people were waiting ahead of you. And technology? The word hadn't even been invented yet. Even though banking has transformed over the years, at Traders, one thing has never changed. Friendly smiles, a neighborly hello, and a sincere appreciation for our customers. When a Traders employee says, "You're welcome," you are, and you always will be. Traders Bank, you're welcome. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
These are the children who had no chance. They're known as Brazil's street kids. They wander the streets dying by the thousands from drugs, AIDS, and bullets. Most of them have been abandoned, left to survive on their own. These children needed a place to go. I had to do something. So I brought it up at Rotary. People heard about what we were doing and asked how they could help. Together, we raised funds to give them a home and open the school. They're learning a trade. Now hundreds of kids have a family and a future. They're contributing to the community because Rotary believes in making things better for everyone.
Rotary is making a difference right now.
They have hope.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
All right, folks, we're back, and one of the things we try to do from time to time here on the Living Show is promote our state park system, because we have a great park right close to Tullahoma and in our area at Tims Ford State Park. It is one of many of the great state parks across the state of Tennessee, and today we have Ranger Josh Kirkendall with us, and he is out at Tims Ford. And Josh is just going to sort of give us a little update on what's going on out there and what's happening on into the fall. You've had a good summer?
We have. It's been a really busy summer. We've had a seasonal interpretive ranger out there who's been providing 20 programs a week that are all free of charge to the public. And those can range from a variety of topics, from a nature hike to an owl prowl at nighttime. A lot of different things going on.
Seasonal interpretive ranger.
Right.
Interpreting
natural and cultural features of the park.
Okay.
And just about all of the state parks have one. That's usually college-age kids that come in and work for us for the whole summer.
And I know there's we have a poster here somewhere and a plaque because of the Eagle Project that was out there at one point. And so birds or owls. I mean, owls are interesting to me. I think that would be really cool, as to have a child go out and go on I guess it would be a night walk, or
it would be. Usually start somewhere a little bit before sunset. That's when most nocturnal creatures are the most active, and they'll go out there and make their attempts to call them in at night. Really cool thing whenever you actually get to call one in and they come down in front of you.
Yeah.
Really neat. And for people that are interested in birds, we have 4 birds of prey that are on display in our aviary. We have a great horned owl named Lucy. We have a red-tailed hawk named Bella, a black vulture named Jack, and a broad-winged hawk named Emilio.
So who gets to pick the names?
It just rotates. Pretty much.
Well, so you've had quite a bit of traffic through the park this summer?
Yeah, it's been one of the busiest summers that we've had so far. I guess with the economy, how it is and whatnot, a lot of people are kind of looking to vacation a little bit closer to home, and we do have over 100 campsites in 2 different campgrounds. So a lot of people are coming out trying to stay a little bit closer to home, maybe save some money, which camping is always a little bit cheaper than going, on a beach trip or something like that.
Well, and the cabins are wonderful out there.
Right. We do have 20 cabins. 2 of those are ADA accessible. So really nice place to stay. A lot of those have really nice views over the lake as well.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. What are some of your fall activities that are going to be coming up?
Again, we do interpretive programs, probably on the busier days, mostly on weekends, things like that. And we usually try to put that schedule out about 2 weeks before the event is going to take place. But the main thing that we have going on is the annual Heritage Day Festival, and that's going to take place on October 13th. And it's this year is kind of a special year because it's in conjunction with the 75th anniversary of the creation of Tennessee State Parks.
Right, right.
So we're going to have a big celebration out there. It's going to be an all-day event. We're going to have music all day, a lot of food vendors and craft vendors, and we're going to have some people out there demonstrating how to make some crafts, and maybe some historical reenactors as well.
Very good. You know, and as we were discussing earlier before we came on the set, I was at the Backroads Heritage dinner a while back, and Brock Hill, who is
he's our commissioner
of state parks, made a wonderful presentation. And you know, we all in Tennessee, and particularly around here, you know, need to realize that we are very fortunate.
We are.
To have the parks that we have, and it's wonderful to go visit them, like Fall Creek Falls and the different ones across the state. And 75 years of having a park system, and I mean, that's just wonderful.
Yeah. And we actually just dedicated our newest park, 54 is the number of it. It's Cumming Falls State Park. It's in Cookeville, and brand new park. Just dedicated it just over a month ago. So
how many state parks are there?
54 altogether.
Well, that brand new park number 54. I should have picked that up.
But so we're definitely growing, and it's a really fun and exciting time for state parks. Tims Ford State Park is actually one of the fastest growing parks that we have in the system. I think that our numbers have just grown exponentially in terms of visitation over the past couple of years. So really good to see.
Great golf course.
A lot of good golfing out there, a lot of good fishing.
Fishing's wonderful. You know, it's a great fishing lake. I mean, you can go just about anywhere and talk to people, and you say, well, I'm from Tennessee, and they say, well, do you know where Tims Ford is? You know, I mean, bass fishermen all over the country know where Tims Ford is. Yeah, so
definitely one of the best fishing lakes, and one of the most picturesque lakes as well that we have here in the Southeast.
And deep, and still relatively clean, relatively pure, because it's spring. A lot of it, there's a lot of springs feed into it, so the water clarity and cleanliness stays at a really great level.
It does.
You're originally from East Tennessee.
I am.
And what led you into the state park ranger, outdoor type career?
Well, I actually started out when I was still in college, doing the seasonal interpretive ranger program that we offer. And I started doing that when I was in college, and then after I graduated, I continued doing that for a couple of years, and then was hired on full-time last year.
And your course of study was in college?
I actually studied history and Appalachian studies, but people who are interested in becoming a park ranger, there's lots of different, I guess, studies that they can take. I guess that anyone can study things like biology, geology, history, just any sort of natural resource or cultural resource kind of
Well,
degree.
and I guess you can move into an area if you're a historian, and within a couple of years you can dig into the history and find a way to tie that into your park work and take walks around the park. And speaking of walks around the park, there's great walking trails out there,
We actually,
miles of them.
We have over 30 miles of trails, and those range from long distance trails, with one of those being over 15 miles. And then we have some short trails that are actually paved. Some of those range from just 1 mile to over 6 miles.
Right. So, and biking as well.
A lot of those trails are hiker and biker friendly.
Right. And a great bridge.
We actually have 2 new bridges that are they're suspension bridges, and they're actually 2 of the longest in the state. And those were dedicated last year as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, how can people find out what's going on at the park? Is there a website they can go to?
Well, there is a website that's ran by all of Tennessee State Parks, but the easiest way to find out specifically about Tims Ford is just to like our page on Facebook. And we try to post things on there almost every day. If not every day, then at least every couple of days, and that kind of gives people a pretty good idea of what's going on in the park,
what's happening,
what days and what times and whatnot.
What's happening. Well, listen, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
If there's anything I can do or we can do, to help you, let us know, because we can get this stuff up on the air and have our television audience in our 6 counties know what's happening at Tims Ford State Park.
Well, I sure do appreciate it, and definitely encourage everyone to come out and pay us a visit.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back after these messages.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want. At our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
Hello, I'm Steve Roller from Warren County, Tennessee. I'm running for the State Senate, 16th District, which includes counties of Warren, Van Buren, Grundy, Sequatchie, Marion, Franklin, and Coffee. Jobs are the most important issue in this campaign, which needs education and a skilled labor force, affordable health care, and better roads and water. All of these factors make jobs. I am a family man raised on a farm with a successful law practice of 30-plus years. I served as your state senator in 2008. I'm the most qualified and experienced candidate in the race. I would appreciate your vote in the Democratic primary. Early voting begins July 17th. General election is on August 2nd. I will not let you down. Your vote could make the difference, and I want your vote. Thank you very much.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Around here, your word is your bond. But Washington politicians like Diane Black don't follow this rule.
I'm running for Congress to stop Washington from barring away her future.
But Diane Black voted for Obama's $2.1 trillion debt increase and the failed super committee.
Congress is spending us into bankruptcy.
And Diane Black voted against the $2.5 trillion budget cut. Stop Double Talk Diane Black on August 2nd.
Congressional Elections PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
There is a castle on a cloud. I like to go there in my sleep. Aren't any floors for me to sweep? Not in my castle on a cloud.
All right. We have been listening to Miss Adeline Smith, who is doing a big part in Les Mis that's coming up at the Manchester Arts Center next weekend. Not this Friday, Saturday, but the following weekend, running into 10, 11, 12 of August. It runs for 2 weekends. This is Caitlin Burnett, who plays
Cosette
grown up.
Yes.
And Adeline plays Cosette as a little girl. Adeline, what prompted you to audition for that piece, for that show?
I don't know, I wanted to...
Put the mic close to your mouth.
I just wanted to audition, I guess.
You just wanted to audition, and you were just so cute and so good you just got the part. You want to introduce us to your brother?
Yeah, sure. This is Wesley.
Wesley, what part are you playing?
I'm playing Marius.
That's an older man, and I hear that you're doing an awesome job.
Oh, I hope so.
And you can introduce Greg?
And this is Mr. Greg Henry, and he will be playing Jean Valjean.
Which is a wonderful part.
It is.
Are you local?
No, ma'am. I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I thought you might. And how did you get the word to come down to Manchester? Did somebody come out and pluck you up and say, please, we need you?
Well, sort of. When I went to Allstate this past year in Chattanooga, Nick Mullins, Thenardier, told me that Manchester's doing Les Mis, and he knew I'd done it before at Siegel High School freshman year. And I'm not going to pass up a chance to do Les Mis again.
Of course not.
No, it's my favorite musical.
It is a beautiful musical, and I understand there's at least 30, 35 people involved in this cast, and that all of you are teenagers and down. Adeline is the youngest in the show. Let's quickly tell everybody how to get a ticket.
You can get them at the door, and they'll be $16, but they recommend that you go ahead and get them online.
And how do we get them online? What's the address?
It's millenniumrep.org, MILLENIUM.
Maybe they'll put that on the screen for us.
REP.org. And they'll be cheaper online, and you can pick your seats.
I know, I think you said $13?
Yes.
And that's a wonderful
$3
deal.
cheaper.
I feel like this production is going to fill up really, really fast. What's your favorite song, Greg, in the whole part that you're doing?
Oh, that I'm doing? That would definitely have to be One Day More.
Oh, I love
It's
that
just
too.
the drama in it, and it's so climactic.
Give me one line.
One line?
Yeah, of the song.
One day more, another day, another destiny.
That I remember that so well. And when I watched this at TPAC, I cried. It's an awesome production, and the fact that young people are doing it, I think, is really, really spectacular because it's a huge undertaking. How about Marius? How come you got Marius? Obviously, you were the best.
I guess.
Because you're very young, and I was very surprised. I mean, not surprised because I know how smart you are, and I know what a great voice you have. But I think that says a lot for you to be able to sing that tenor part. It's huge.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite song?
I'd have to say probably Heart Full of Love with Caitlin here. It's really, really fun.
Yes. There's a lot of great songs, and your favorite?
I would have to go with One Day More as well. It's
Yeah.
just the most, I don't know, climactic song in the whole piece, and everyone just comes together, and it's awesome.
Who's directing the play?
Morgan Underwood is
Morgan.
our director, and Sharon Edwards is our vocal director, and Robert Hires is our music director.
Robert Hires, we raised him right here in Tullahoma, so we know how good he is.
Wonderful.
He's an awesome individual as well as a great accompanist and music production person. How about movement? Is there anyone doing choreography or anything like that, or are you all just? It's not that kind of
much of a
musical.
dance show.
Yeah.
It's more of a drama. We did have someone come work with us a little bit for a couple of the songs, Master of the House and the Lovely Ladies song. But it's not much of it. There's not much choreography in that sense.
I
in the
know.
show.
Yeah, it's a different kind of show. It's not your song and dance. Da 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 da. It's not one of those. And I would encourage you to take your box of Kleenex.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It's a huge production, and do you know how long it is? About 2 hours.
Maybe, probably more.
3.
You think it's
2.5,
more like
3.
2.5 to 3?
3.
I think 3
There's a
probably.
lot to be said about that period in history, and it takes a long time to tell the story. And Adeline, talk to me just a little bit about your part. What are you in the play? Put your mic up.
Well, I'm a little girl that dreams of being loved and doesn't really get that.
Do you think it's possible that Cosette was an abused child?
Yes.
And neglected? And I think we have a lot of children like that in the world. And so you are playing a role that would apply to a lot of people and possibly give them courage to continue to dream. Is that true, you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you love singing it? Do you love singing in this play?
Yes.
Are you the youngest? I mean,
Yes.
are there any other children your age in the play?
No, ma'am.
Just you're the only little person. Aren't you lucky? I am so glad you guys could come on this show. Let's talk just a little bit about our ticket sales obviously going well and filling up fast.
Oh yes, they're
Because
right now.
that theater is fairly small.
Yes, ma'am.
But the acoustics are awesome. And you can hear, and it doesn't matter what seat you're sitting in, you can see. I love that theater. Let's tell people, do y'all know where it's located?
The Manchester Arts Center.
Just off the square in
Just off the
Manchester.
square,
I don't have the exact address in my head, but I don't think you can miss it because there's a courthouse, and if you drive around the courthouse, you're going to see Millennium real
It's
close.
128 East Main Street.
Oh, good
in
for you.
Manchester.
128 East Main Street.
Yes.
And if you'll go online, you can get your tickets, and you can probably call somebody, but I don't know who. Annie?
Yes, I think if you look on the website that it has listed.
It'll have
they'll
listed some numbers because I don't think the Millennium, the Art Center has a resident secretary or anything to answer the phone.
Not that I know of.
But if you want tickets, you need to get them quickly. How much are student tickets the same as adult tickets? Do y'all know?
Student tickets are $10.
$10. Okay, so it's 10.
Student and senior tickets.
Okay. Student and senior are only 10? Yes. What, do I get a break or what? That's wonderful. Greg, tell me quickly about some of the other plays you've done.
Well, Les Mis was my first play my freshman year. Then the next year we did Cats.
Wow.
That was fun. Then after that, my junior year, I did the production of Phantom of the Opera. It was Don Attilio Pastorino.
Fantastic.
It was.
You've had some great experience then. You're not just coming into this cold. Well, I feel so blessed to have had you on this program today. Good luck. I know it's going to be great, break a leg and all that good stuff, and I'm going to be there on the opening night if I can get a ticket. They're not all sold out. We'll be back with more living things, we hope.
Hi, I'm Kayla Thompson. For the past 15 years, you viewed my father's commercials and watched us grow up. We're here today to say thank you for your continuous support and introduce the new faces of Thompson Ford.
Lori.
Josh.
Olivia.
Nick.
Michael. Nathan. Even though some of us are going off to college or moving away, we just wanted to say that you can always count on a Thompson to be a part of the community. Come and see us at Thompson Ford, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Thank you.
Our office used to look like this, but now with My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young, it's easy. We've made all of our files electronic and stored them in our virtual filing cabinet, which gave us tons of space. And Bob here, a big promotion. Melissa can pull files in minutes and spends hours on Facebook. And Kyle's confidential files stay confidential.
We're not totally paper-free, right?
My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young. It's that easy.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
All right, folks, this past weekend there was a new opening at the Fine Arts Center in Tullahoma, and that would be with artist Brian Nash and artist and also jewelry maker Madonna Bush. And it was a great time. I have a couple of interviews with each of them and an interview with the executive director, Annie Roan, about what's going to be happening at the Art Center for up until Christmas time. Now this, the pictures you will see and the jewelry you will see on this video, they will be there for a month. So go by the Art Center and see this great stuff, and I hope you enjoy this. All right, this is John Gray, and I'm at the Fine Arts Center, and it is opening night with Brian Nash and Madonna Bush, and we're going to look at some of the artwork on the walls and some of the jewelry and get an interview with the artist. Both artists. And as you can see, there's jewelry around the room. Look at that. That one's so good looking they had to put it in a cage, keep somebody from taking it.
Hello. Let me add my water, please. And then
I've actually never seen her. I don't have a TV set, so I've heard of her, but I've actually never heard of her.
All right, this is again wonderful looking stuff, and it'll be a great show tonight. And Brian paints very differently, and is a very respected artist, and Madonna makes absolutely beautiful jewelry. Hats, fedoras, back in style, and there are bow ties, and Jacob and John Gray both love bow ties.
What I do is I get a whole bunch of them and I roll them up in a big
alligators, buses, cars, rabbits, lighthouse. Looks as though rabbits are a favorite. There's rabbits everywhere.
So do you?
And wonderful
stuff about them? Do you?
Some of it.
Wonderful jewelry. And the jewelry table. And all of this stuff can be purchased at the Fine Arts Center during the next month. And the show will be up for a month.
Yep, sure enough.
All right, folks, we're with Brian Nash, and he is one of the artists that is exhibiting at the Fine Arts Center this month, and he's standing in front of candy corn on one side and Volkswagens on the other side. Brian, welcome to Tullahoma.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing what you do?
I have been painting for about a year and a half now, actually. I hadn't painted before, and it was just something I picked up impulsively on a whim and found that I enjoyed it. And pretty much right away, too, people started asking me for paintings, which was pretty shocking. And I thought, maybe this is something I enjoy doing, and I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
And what was your prior career?
Hey, a lot. I have an MBA from Dartmouth College. I was director of retail marketing for Polo Ralph Lauren in New York. Got bored with that, moved down to Nashville, write songs, had a few dozen songs recorded, and started to not like the music industry as much.
It's a tough industry, isn't it?
It's not just tough, it's just... I'm better off being a fan of music than participating in it, and I just was casting about for something else to do and started painting and haven't written a song since.
Well, I noticed most of your work is numerous of the same thing.
Yeah.
Why did you head that way? What caused you sort of to do that?
Couldn't tell you. Maybe it's because of my background in advertising that I'm drawn to graphics and repeating images. Maybe it's because I love Andy Warhol, who does a lot of repetition in his work as well. I don't know. It was just I hadn't thought about what I was going to paint. It just came out.
Everything from Volkswagens to rabbits.
Yeah,
huh?
I really don't, it's not premeditated. I didn't think this is going to be my style. It just happened.
And people like it.
Thank God.
Well, we're glad you're going to be, your work's going to be in Tullahoma for a month now. Yes. And this is opening night, and we're going to have a lot of folks come up and see this. And we will also put this all on our television network, and maybe we can get some interest coming from our outside counties into Tullahoma to see this.
That would be awesome.
Brian, thank you very much for your time and your talent.
Thank you.
All right, folks, now I'm with Madonna Bush, and she is also an artist that is exhibiting this month at the Fine Arts Center, and she is a wonderful jewelry designer and jewelry maker. And Madonna, thank you so much for bringing your art and your excellence to the Art Center in Tullahoma.
I am thrilled to be here.
How long have you been involved in your craft?
I've been making jewelry now for about 5 years. 5 years.
And what do you draw your inspiration from?
Anything pretty, antique, whimsical. I love vintage pieces. I love found pieces. If I can't find it, I'll make it.
You make one. And you also have someone, I'm sure, that gives you a little inspiration in that you're married to Michael Bush.
Yes, I'm married to Michael Bush. So there's a painter in the family already, so now we have a jewelry maker.
Now we have a jewelry maker. Well, your stuff is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for being with us this month, and I hope you have great success.
Thank you.
All right, there's, look at there. There's Annie Rohn, the Executive Director of the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. And we're going to take just a minute to talk about the upcoming exhibits that are going to be at the center.
Okay.
And Annie, what's next?
Well, next month we have artist Art Mulkey and Bill Bryson.
Uh-huh. And that will be in...
that is Saturday, August 18th.
August the 18th,
yes,
okay.
That's the show opening. And then the following month in September, we have Stuart Copeland. We're going to be showing his 3 documentaries here.
Uh-huh.
And we have Joanna Sieber, we have Ann Smotherman, and Jimmy Lou Smith.
Jimmy Lou Smith. That's great. And so that'll be in September.
That is September 15th.
All right. And then October,
fabulous artists. Also, we have Amanda Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
She paints and she does this great new photography. What is it called? Sorry.
It's good. It's called good.
Great new photography and ink transfer.
Right.
And she's actually coming to Tullahoma to take photos of Tullahoma places and people and coming back with that.
Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful.
And then we have Jennifer Redstreak, who is our watercolor teacher here. And then we have Hal Broyles. He will be bringing his art and his jewelry. That is all October 13th.
October 13th. Annie, thank you for what you're doing at the Fine Arts Center. You are a delightful sweetheart. We love you.
Thank you very much.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want. At our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
Hello, I'm Steve Roller from Warren County, Tennessee. I'm running for the State Senate 16th District, which includes counties of Warren, Van Buren, Grundy, Sequatchie, Marion, Franklin, and Coffee. Jobs are the most important issue in this campaign, which needs education and a skilled labor force, affordable health care, and better roads and water. All of these factors make jobs. I am a family man raised on a farm with a successful law practice of 30-plus years. I served as your state senator in 2008. I'm the most qualified and experienced candidate in the race. I would appreciate your vote in the Democratic primary. Early voting begins July 17th. General election is on August 2nd. I will not let you down. Your vote could make the difference, and I want your vote. Thank you very much.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Welcome back to Just Plain Living. I'm on the set today with Terry Mayo. Hi, Terry.
How do
Welcome
you do?
to our show.
Thank you, Ms. Burton.
Thanks for
Pleasure.
jumping into this area and finding a home.
Well, and it has been a great home for about 6 months now.
Been here for 6 months. You love it?
I love it.
I love that you're here.
Wouldn't go anywhere else now.
Just to give you a little insight on who Terry is, he has been a critic of theater in Murfreesboro for
Correct.
quite a few years.
Correct.
And you just told me how many plays you saw.
202 plays in 4 years.
202 plays in 4 years. And what was it you did in your spare time?
I worked in a business down there in Murfreesboro, and since I didn't really have other life, theater was my...
You love theater.
I loved theater.
And I think you mentioned that you saw Greg, the young man that was sitting on the end that's playing Jean Valjean.
I did. I saw him for 3 straight years at Siegel High School in Lemez and in Cats and in Phantom of the Opera.
And he was...
Awesome. It was just an awesome cast. Siegel High School has an awesome...
is that in Murfreesboro?
It is, yes, ma'am.
I'm not that familiar with Murfreesboro, but
I critiqued all 4 high schools, all the community theater there, and MTSU's theater.
I wonder if you ever critiqued one of Emily Burnett's plays. She was at one of the high schools in Murfreesboro. Not that it matters, but I'm sure you did.
I'm sure I did.
I'm sure you
yes,
did.
ma'am.
She did a lot of good theater work there. And now that you're living in Tullahoma,
I am.
You painted the set for Oliver, which I saw last weekend.
I helped paint that set.
And that's wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
That's an awesome set.
I agree with you.
It really was.
I agree with you.
A lot of work went into
Robert
that.
Allen and all the kids and Erica and everyone.
Erica Wonder, they did a great job.
They did awesome. Yes,
well,
ma'am.
thank you for coming into our community and just grabbing that paintbrush and going right to work. I love that.
I'm wanting to do more.
Do you get any bad repercussions from people for writing,
sure.
for critiquing what they do?
Oh, sure. I was actually in Murfreesboro this past weekend. A friend of mine who was in theater down there passed away this past week, so we went down and had a celebration of his life at the Center for the Arts in Murfreesboro, and I saw a lot of actors and directors I hadn't seen in a year and a half, at least a year and a half. Some of them still won't speak to me.
Oh.
So, but most of them, it was an embrace, of course.
I think in my heart, and of course, you know, you haven't critiqued me yet, but I think a person that cannot take criticism is never going to grow beyond where they are.
I agree with you. They're not going to mature to their capability if they can't take a little
a little criticism.
A little criticism, that's
And
right.
so you wrote for the Daily News, was it the Daily News
It was actually the
Journal?
Murfreesboro Pulse.
Oh, okay.
Came out once a week, still does. But after 202 plays, April a year ago, I said, you know, I'm burned out for a while. I need to take a break.
Plays. Do you have a favorite out of all those 200 and so?
Actually, when I saw Cinderella at Center of the Arts, that was one of my favorites.
Really?
When I saw Julius Caesar, actually, at Murfreesboro Little Theater, that was one of my favorites.
That was a huge undertaking.
And it was
brilliant.
Brilliant. Most awesome.
So thrilled that a theater would be doing that.
And
often they're afraid to tackle something of that magnitude.
They tackled everything at Murfreesboro Little Theater. MTSU, I saw some great plays there over the years. And the high school plays were just incredible. You would have thought you were in Nashville or maybe even
New York City.
New York, on Broadway.
Isn't that great?
Siegel, out of the 4 high schools, was and I'm not being impartial here, but it was my favorite.
They must have had a fine drama department.
They have got an incredible drama department. Their drama teachers.
A lot of good support from the community and the teachers and the families.
All 4 high schools packed their auditoriums for every play. Yes,
How wonderful.
So, but we're going to do the same thing here in Tullahoma.
I think it's going to happen. Last
Manchester.
year they did Phantom of the Opera here and at the high school. And the community playhouses this year has done Guys and Dolls, and they have a big season coming up. And so get that pencil and pad out.
I'm going to get the pencil and pad, and I'm going to start doing in Tullahoma and in Manchester.
I think that'd be great.
And start writing again. Yes, ma'am.
And I think that we will all appreciate having your input.
I hope so.
What are some of the things that affect you most when you're watching a production that you might criticize on the good side or the bad side? What would you be looking for?
I look for missing lines.
Okay.
If someone has missed a line or two, I'll notice it. But if someone else can pick up the slack and continue with the flow, I'll notice that as well.
You'll notice that as well, and that's a real talented person that can do that.
It really is. And so missing lines drives me nuts. Somebody who can pick up lines after someone has missed lines.
And do you watch for things that don't make sense? Like in acting, let's say they're fixing to have a cup of coffee and the cup turns over and nothing falls out.
Nothing falls out.
Do you watch for stuff I watch for stuff like that.
I do. In fact, there was a show several years ago at Center for the Arts where they were supposed to be in one city, and it was indoors. It was in a living room. It was a large country family, and they were in a particular city, and the young lady reached up and started reading an Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
And that drove you crazy.
It did.
And you wrote it down, didn't you?
I did.
I would have too. I always noticed that. I watch for that in movies too.
Oh, I do.
And on occasion I catch things.
I do. That's a good thing.
And I just like doing that. I always have liked doing that.
Well, I try to be positive. But,
I know you do.
And I always bring out the good things, and then I'll tweak.
And I would think if you're watching a real young group, you'll be maybe a tiny bit kinder.
I will be kinder, even if one of them is over to the side and they're
picking their nose.
I'm glad you said that. I wasn't going to say it. Or picking their ear or whatever.
Kind of losing character.
And they lose their train of thought or where they're supposed to be.
Right.
But I turn my head on things like that because these kids they're going to grow. They're going to, at least they're interested in the arts.
And I think of the confidence booster this is. I think anybody out there that has children that lacks confidence, get them into a theater group somewhere.
Absolutely.
And let them get up on the stage and
do their thing.
And do
yes,
their
ma'am.
thing.
That's right.
Because I think we'll find a lot of people that aren't good at other things find themselves in the theater.
You've got boys and girls that are into sports. You've got boys and girls that are into other venues. You've got boys and girls that are into theater. and they love to dramatize, they love to be a character, they love to be funny, they love to act.
And I have the feeling that we find a lot of ADHD people finding themselves in theater.
Yes, ma'am.
And finding support and respect and a lot of
That is very true, and they're calmer, they are more confident in themselves.
Exactly. And maybe they won't have to take so many drugs.
I hope you're right.
That means a lot to me, to
It does
keep
me
people
too.
off drugs. What are some of the other things you're doing while you're here in Tullahoma? Have you had a chance to go to the Arts Center and look around what we have here?
I have been to the South Jackson Civic Center quite a bit recently.
I know Miss Fran Gray talked about you.
Oh, that's a good thing, I hope. Fran and John have become good friends.
They're wonderful
They
people.
are wonderful people. I love their support of the arts in this
I do
town. Robert Allen, as I mentioned earlier.
Erica Wonder, you've met her.
Yes, ma'am. I've met Erica.
So we hope you're going to stay involved.
Well, I will. And then
Yeah.
I direct music at my church.
Oh, do you? What church is that?
At Restoration Baptist Fellowship over on East Lincoln.
On East Lincoln Street. Good.
And so I
So
direct
you're a
music.
musician?
I am a musician.
You're just a man of many talents, aren't you,
Well,
Terry?
And master of none of them.
Well,
But-
I kind of feel that way about myself. My mother used to say, "Well, it's okay. You know, you spread yourself thin, but that's okay. You know, some people focus on one thing." Well, Terry, you know, we don't have a lot more time. Is there anything that you'd like to reveal about yourself or the world, or any great words of wisdom that you'd like to lay on us here at the last minute?
The last minute, 30 seconds or less.
30 seconds or less.
I just hope that I can continue to be a positive factor to this town.
You will be.
In the months and years to come,
I think
because
you might be a force to reckon with.
I have settled down.
Oh, you've settled down?
I've settled down,
You're
and
here to stay.
I love this place.
Well, we love having you. Thanks
It's
for
been a
coming,
pleasure,
and I'm
Ms.
going to look
Burton.
forward to look for some readings in the newspaper.
Sounds good.
critiquing what's happening here.
Okay, sounds good.
Terry Mayo, people. We'll be back with more of Living.
It is said that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and the Eye Care Center wants to make your eyes the best windows possible. The professionals at the Eye Care Center have been offering comprehensive eye care for over 30 years. From eye examinations to eye surgery, from children to seniors, we have the services you need. We pride ourselves on taking the time to fully understand our patients' wants and needs. Each patient is a unique situation and deserves our full attention and the latest treatment options. So call or stop by one of our 4 convenient locations and start seeing better today.
All that attention, all you wanted was...
Hello, this is J.D. Oliver from the Smokehouse on Mount Eagle Mountain. Me and my sisters Nancy and Betsy would like to thank you all for your continued support. This year we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary at the Smokehouse. In conjunction with our 50-year celebration, we are bringing Music on the Mountain every Saturday night, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m., featuring the best of Nashville. We have had some wonderful singers, hit songwriters, and Nashville's rising stars have taken the stage. Come out this Saturday night and every Saturday night through the end of the year. Make it a date night or bring the whole family. Help us celebrate 50 years in the community. Music on the Mountain is free every Saturday night at Jim Oliver's Smokehouse.
Hey, this is Sean Mayer. I'd like to invite everybody out to the Smokehouse every Saturday night for great music and awesome food.
Thank you very much, y'all.
Some people think that pressing their on-demand button will cost money or make their house explode or something. Of course, neither of these things is true. On-demand is just a way to access thousands of free movies and TV shows. The code to blow up a house is actually channel up, channel down, 2*77.
On demand, thousands of free movies and TV shows on your schedule, and nothing bad.
It all starts with a family, land and a little seed. Say a prayer that the roots grow deep, 'cause it's all grown naturally. Our home is stands generations of dedication and honor. The American farmer. There's new ways of harvesting, same crops, bigger machines. Working hard is an everyday thing. That's the way it'll always be. Our home is here in the heartland, where we work and earn these cow stands. Generations of dedication and honor. The American farmer. Generations of dedication and honor. The American farmer. The American farmer.
Right, here I am up here with the original American farmer, Mr. Charlie Allen.
Well, good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Charlie. Where'd you shoot that video?
We shot that in Manchester, Tennessee.
Every bit of it?
Every daggone bit of it.
It looks like you were out in Nebraska somewhere.
That's what it's supposed to look like. I fooled you, didn't I?
You sure did. You sure did. But that's on the American Farmer. That's the show that you MC.
That's exactly right.
And where's that? Where can somebody see that these days?
On Discovery Channel. It's 6 o'clock every morning.
Every morning on Discovery.
Now, don't get me wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that's.
You think that's it?
I haven't talked to my manager yet, so she's got a lot of things going.
But
hey, you look pretty good on camera, by the way.
Thank you. So do you.
Yeah.
So do you. You just started the second season?
I did, yeah. Boy, it was hot down there, man.
Was it?
Oh,
hot
God,
down there in Manchester?
Yeah, it was.
All the way out there in West Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like West Texas and you in West Manchester.
Oh, man, it was so hot it scorched.
What else is going on with Charlie Allen? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been working with a couple of new artists, trying to break them in and get a new single on radio to them. I supposedly have a new song on Black Hawk's new record I'm excited about.
Good.
The American Farmer's doing a lot for me. Everything seems to be going good. Now, how about you?
Well, everything's just fine with me.
But I did have a back problem. I went to see Dr. Everett. Boy, she's the real deal. It feels so much better. I was walking crooked.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what hit me.
Reckon she'll pay for that ad?
I don't know, but boy, she's good. My back don't hurt no more.
There you go. I
was in bad shape.
I want to ask, last time you were on, we had talked about the motorcycle ad, the song that you did for the state.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really good song, John.
It's a good song, and it's on billboards everywhere, isn't it?
It is.
I've seen it in numerous places.
That ought to tell you that song's living, but I'm not getting paid yet. You know how that is. It takes forever to get paid.
Well, when you're living, it does. It's like most great artists don't ever make any. They starve to death while they're alive, and then after they die.
Oh, don't say that now. Don't even go there.
People pay big money for their stuff.
We don't want to talk about dying. No, I don't want to die.
Well, then you and I just get to live on as paupers.
Okay, well,
broken, destitute, but having fun.
We do have
That's
fun.
the thing about it.
We wrote a good song too.
Well, we're working on one right now. We've written a couple, but you were going to play one here, weren't you? You want to do that right now, and then we talk a little bit afterwards?
Yeah.
You were telling me about this song.
Oh,
Where
God.
did this song?
Oh, Lord, that poor guitar. I swear.
Where did this song come from? Huh? Was this your first single?
This was another song that I wrote.
Was this your first single?
No, this is a new single I'm doing.
New single, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's hear it. Now, is it going to be on a video? You're going to do a video on it?
Yeah, it's going to be a video.
Or have you already done it?
No, I ain't done the video yet.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Don't talk to me like that. I'm asking a simple question. You hadn't done the video. It's your single. It's your next coming single.
Right, yeah.
Do you have a project that's coming out soon?
We do. We're working on it. You know,
Okay.
it's trying to get all the songs together, you know, and trying to make sure they're right and this is right, you know, and
maybe don't the wheels turn slow.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? No popcorn country.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
But anyway, I wrote this with Brian White, and a good Hal Kruger, a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
I woke up
Brian's
with
a good
this
guy.
song. Yeah, he is a pretty good guy. He's had a lot of success.
A lot of success, and I remember when he was had a contract, artist contract. I was always amazed by his voice. He has one of the cleanest, purest voices.
Now wait a minute. You're talking about the Brian White. This is Brian White, the songwriter.
Well, he didn't say that.
Okay,
You said Brian White.
well, I mean, there's a couple of Brian Whites out there. Yes,
How many
sir.
Charlie Allens are there?
Ain't no telling. Everybody.
Sing.
Okay. When I look into your eyes, I like what I see. It's like forever is right there, staring back at me. Yeah. Think I'll stay awake all night. I don't wanna take a chance. This is just a dream. I don't want this night to end. There's just something about the way you kiss me, the way you touch me, the way you love me. Girl, I'm so lucky, and the way that you smile could light up Tennessee. Don't you really like that line?
I like that line.
I do too. Well, baby, there's something about everything. I like that faded cotton shirt. Yeah. When that's all that you got on. Ooh-wee. And that crazy little dance you do when they play our favorite song. When you're singing in the shower and you don't think I can hear, baby, I just sing along. It's sweet music to my ears. Check me out, John. There's just something about the way you kiss me, the way you touch me, the way you love me. Girl, I'm so lucky, and the way that you smile could light up Tennessee. Ah, baby, there's something about everything. I like that faded Titan shirt. Yeah. Oh, that's all that you got on.
Charlie Allen.
Right on.
New single.
Hey, yeah, I like that song.
I think
that's a pretty good song.
That's a
don't
good
you?
song. It's going to have a great video.
Well, I'm trying to think of the video, so maybe you could help me out on that part.
How are we going to light up Tennessee?
I don't know, man. That's going to be really hard. But that's a great line, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Light up the whole state.
Well, anyway, sing me one, John.
Oh,
I know you
can't
got
do that.
I'll
I'm not going to do that.
Don't get me wrong, she's got a reason.
Yeah, she does.
You know, every woman's got a reason.
That's
you know?
it. She can't find it. I can't find the right thing to say.
That's the truth too.
What's next for you, fella? You hanging around this area for a while?
Well, I think I'm getting ready to go to Ireland.
Go to Ireland?
Do some shows down there.
That's a good place to go. It's not down there. It's
well, you know.
Or is it Ireland, Georgia?
No, it's Ireland.
Well, it was Brian White too, but it was the wrong Brian White. It might be Ireland, Georgia.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell you something.
What?
I ain't gonna tell you.
Okay. I didn't want to know anyway. Why in the world would I care?
If it wasn't for you on the American Farmer teaching me how to use the teleprompter correctly, 1 minute you had it here, next minute you was dragging it back, and I couldn't see nothing. You broke me in on that. I'd like to thank you very much for that.
You're more than welcome.
Your company's awesome.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. We appreciate you.
But now let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
You built your own. I need to know how to do that.
Well, you've got to go find some used hospital equipment. Our teleprompter.
Oh my God, a teleprompter.
Our teleprompter over there is made out of an IV stand, 3 walkers. I don't know what else. We need to get a picture of our teleprompter.
3
sometime.
Walkers?
Yeah, and well, look at it. It's all over.
It works, don't it?
It's used hospital equipment
right.
that
like
we found
that.
out. Found out behind the hospice at one point. They were getting rid of it because it was broken.
Yeah.
Parts and pieces, and we took the parts and pieces and made a teleprompter.
You do something like that. It works, though, right?
That's called recycling. That's what we do. Hey, real quick question. How tough is it going to be on us grocery-wise after the first of the year because of this drought and all this corn?
It's going to be really bad, John. A lot of farmers out there starving. They can't buy their hay. Their cows are dying. We've talked to several people. It don't look good at all. I mean, you know, it's easy to sit here and say, you know, I got this great groceries on the table, and you pick up a fork and start eating it. But you know, there's a little bit more that goes with that until it gets there. Yeah. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of good farmers out there that believe in what they're doing. And unfortunately, I mean, the heat is just killing us.
Yeah. You know, in corn, we were talking about it the other day. People say, oh, well, it's corn, the corn crop. I don't get the ear of corn. Well, corn is in so many other foods that it's going to affect everything. And
it's
plus,
everything.
How you feed those cattle? Well,
exactly.
Most of them they top out eating corn.
That's
what they eat. So
also, I'd like to say, you know, I'd like to invite everybody to go to my Facebook, official Charlie Allen Facebook. I'd love to see you on there and talk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the farmers. I mean, if we can do anything in this world to make them better, they need money, they need encouragement, and they need good people around them. You know what I'm saying?
You got it.
It means a lot.
And guess what? Guess what? We just got to X, and that means it's time for us to go. We appreciate you. Every time you come, Charlie, we got to move on.
Well, thank
American
you
Farmer,
so much.
Charlie Allen.
No, John Gray, thank you so much.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
How can toys like these lead to a 6-year-old's death and leave another child permanently brain damaged? Because they're not toys at all. A safety message from your local fire department and this station.
Oh, there's my cat. Should I put her away?
Lighten it up a little bit.
How's this? Great.
Good.
There we go.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
That was a great segment.
That's Charlie Allen's side.
We had a really bad thing happen in the commercial break. John got on Charlie because Charlie plays his guitar with a pink guitar pick. I mean, for goodness sakes, John.
I wasn't getting on him. I was picking
It
at
takes
him.
a real man to be able to.
Hey, I got pink ties,
I
pink
tell you what,
shirts.
you might want to be
I just
careful
wanna
picking on a
establish
man
that.
with a pick.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't have a handle on it, I'm okay.
Especially picking on a man that's about a foot taller than you are.
Oh, that's all right. I'm quicker than he is.
Oh, okay. All right. If you say so.
I can get away. I can get away from them big boys.
We had some neat things on the show
Yeah,
today.
great things on the show.
We
And
did.
don't forget, we want to talk about country. Push
South
that
Jackson
again.
Goes Country is coming up 10, 11, 12 of August. We have 3 totally different shows. We're writing commercials. They're making us laugh.
And they can get their tickets now, okay?
Oh, yeah. 455-5321. Miss Fran Gray will answer the phone and set you up with some tickets.
Everything's good.
I think it's $15 if you buy the tickets in advance, and that's the best deal in town. $17 at the door.
Very good.
It's a good
Very
deal.
Good.
So
what we did, you saw something about the art show, the opening at the Art Center the other night. There was a young man, Landon Coe, who I walked in and he was playing a little 3/4 guitar, had a fedora hat on, and he was playing the blues for the entertainment, and I loved it. We're going to end the show today with Landon Coe. All right, the entertainment tonight at the Fine Arts Center for the opening is Landon Coe. Let me hear a little something, Landon.